A drunk text to the wrong number. A Korean mafia boss who doesn't believe in coincidence. And a photo taken outside her apartment at 2 a.m. that changed everything. What started as a mistake became the most dangerous and passionate connection of her life. But when he showed up at her door, nobody could have predicted what would happen next. Before we continue, if you want to know how one wrong text message turned into a life-or-death love story that shook the entire underworld, smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications, because what happens next will leave you absolutely speechless. Some mistakes change everything. Ariella Cole had endured another soul-crushing 12-hour shift at Metro General Hospital. Her feet ached, her back screamed, and her heart felt hollower than the hospital coffee she'd been surviving on. When she got home to her tiny apartment, her roommate Destiny was already out for the night. Ariella poured herself a generous glass of wine, then another, and another. She thought about Michael, the guy from the gym with the perfect smile who'd given her his number 3 weeks ago. They'd texted a few times, nothing serious, but tonight, fueled by loneliness and liquid courage, Ariella decided to be bold. At 11:47 p.m. she typed, "Hey, I know this is forward, but I can't stop thinking about you. I want you to know that if you ever want to come over, my door is open. No games, no pretense, just you and me. What do you say?" She hit send before she could overthink it. The wine made her brave. The loneliness made her reckless. What Ariella didn't know was that she'd typed the wrong number. Instead of Michael from the gym, her late-night confession went to Min Jun-yun, the most feared Korean mafia boss in the city. A man whose name made hardened criminals whisper. A man who hadn't felt genuine human connection in over a decade. A man who was sitting alone in his penthouse office, staring at business ledgers stained with blood money, when his phone buzzed. He looked at the message from an unknown number. Most people would have deleted it immediately. Min-jun became fascinated, because the woman who wrote those words sounded lonely, desperate, real, and Min Jun-yun hadn't heard anything real in 15 years. He typed back, "Who is this?" That single question started a chain of events that would terrify everyone who knew them. Ariella was halfway through her third glass of wine when her phone buzzed. Her heart leaped. Michael actually responded. She grabbed the phone eagerly, but her excitement faltered when she read the message, "Who is this?" That was odd. She'd texted him before. He had her number saved. Maybe he deleted it? The thought stung, but the wine kept her bold. "Ariella. It's Ariella. From the gym? We exchanged numbers a few weeks ago." She waited, staring at the 3 dots indicating he was typing. "Unknown. I think you have the wrong number. I don't go to any gym, but I'm intrigued by your message." Ariella's blood ran cold. Wrong number. Oh God. Oh God. She'd just sent a deeply personal, borderline sexual message to a complete stranger. Her fingers flew across the screen. "Ariella, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was meant for someone else. Please delete that message. I'm mortified." "Unknown. Don't be. It was honest. Refreshing, even." "Ariella, seriously, I'm so embarrassed. Just forget you ever saw that. Unknown. I don't think I can." Something about those words made Ariella's skin prickle. This wasn't playful banter. This was something else. "Ariella, look, I made a mistake. Have a good night." She was about to delete the conversation when another message came through. "Unknown. Tell me something. When's the last time someone actually saw you? Not the nurse? Not the friend? not the woman trying to be brave in a world that exhausted her. When's the last time someone saw you? Ariella stared at her phone like it had grown fangs. How did he know she was a nurse? Ariella. How do you know what I do? Unknown. I don't, but your message was sent at 11:47 p.m. on a Friday night. You're home alone, drinking, reaching out to someone you barely know. That speaks of long hours, isolation, and desperation for connection. Medical professionals work those kinds of hours. Nurses especially. Ariella. That's really observant, or really creepy. Unknown. Both, probably. But I'm right, aren't I? She shouldn't engage. Every instinct screamed to block this number. But something about his words resonated in a way that terrified and intrigued her. Ariella. Who are you? Unknown. Someone who understands loneliness better than most. Ariella. That's not an answer. Unknown. It's the only one that matters right now. Tell me, Ariella from the gym. What are you running from? Ariella. I'm not running from anything. Unknown. Everyone's running from something. I run from the weight of expectations, from the violence my life demands, from the fact that I'm surrounded by hundreds of people and still completely alone. What about you? This was insane. She was having a therapy session with a stranger at midnight. But the wine and the loneliness made her honest. Ariella. I'm running from the realization that I'm 29, work a job that drains my soul, come home to an empty apartment, and can't even successfully text the right guy. I'm running from mediocrity. Unknown. There's nothing mediocre about vulnerability. Most people never achieve it. They texted for 2 hours. He asked about her dreams, ones she'd never spoken aloud. She asked about his fears, ones he'd never admitted. It felt dangerous, intimate, wrong in the best way. At 1:43 a.m., Ariella finally asked, Ariella, why are you still talking to me? Don't you have better things to do than text a stranger? Unknown. Nothing better than this. Ariella. You don't even know what I look like. Unknown. I know what your soul sounds like. That's rarer. Ariella felt something shift in her chest, something she couldn't name. Ariella. I should go to bed. This is crazy. Unknown. It is, but good crazy or bad crazy? Ariella. I don't know yet. Unknown. Fair enough. Sleep well, Ariella. She set her phone down, heart pounding, mind racing. This was insane. She should block him. Forget this ever happened. But at 2:14 a.m., her phone buzzed one more time. It was a photo. Ariella opened it, and her entire world tilted. It was her apartment building, taken from across the street, right now. Below the image, one message, unknown, sweet dreams. Here's a question for you. If a stranger showed up outside your home in the middle of the night, would you call the police? Or would curiosity kill the cat? Keep watching, because Ariella's decision will shock you. Ariella's hands shook so violently, she nearly dropped her phone. He was outside. Right now. Every horror movie warning, every true crime podcast lesson, every instinct for self-preservation screamed at her to call 911. Instead, she typed, Ariella, are you threatening me? Unknown. No, I'm showing you I'm real. Ariella. You're showing me you're a stalker. Unknown. If I wanted to hurt you, I wouldn't announce my presence. I'd be inside already. The calm certainty of those words was somehow more terrifying than an outright threat. Ariella. What do you want from me? Unknown. To meet you. Tomorrow. Public place. Your choice. Ariella. You're insane. Unknown. Probably, but you're still reading my messages instead of blocking me. He was right. Why was she still engaging? Ariella. If I agree to meet you, will you leave me alone tonight? Unknown. Yes, but I don't think you'll want me to leave you alone after. Ariella. That's incredibly arrogant. Unknown. It's honest. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pick the place and send it to me. I'll be there. Ariella looked at the photo of her building again. He was out there somewhere in the darkness, waiting for her answer. Ariella. Bluebird Cafe, downtown. It's crowded and public. Unknown. Perfect. See you then, Ariella. She waited for more messages. None came. Ariella ran to her window and peeked through the blinds. The street below was empty, except for a few parked cars. No one visible. Where did he go? She didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, Destiny found Ariella staring at her phone with dark circles under her eyes. Girl, you look like death. What happened? Ariella told her everything. Destiny's eyes went wide. Are you out of your mind? He stalked you. You need to call the police. And tell them what? A guy I texted by accident responded and sent a photo. I technically initiated contact. Ariella, this is how people end up on Dateline. She met a stranger from a wrong number text, and her body was never found. It's a public cafe, broad daylight. What's he going to do? I'm coming with you, Destiny declared, hiding at a nearby table, armed with pepper spray. Des, non-negotiable. If you're doing this insane thing, I'm back up. At 5:45 p.m., Ariella sat in a corner booth at Bluebird Cafe. Palms sweating, heart racing. Destiny was 3 tables away, pretending to read a magazine, but watching like a hawk. At exactly 600 p. Cafe door opened. Min Jun-yun walked in. Ariella's breath caught. He was nothing like she'd imagined, and exactly what she'd feared. Tall, impeccably dressed in a black suit that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Sharp features, dark eyes that seemed to catalog everything in the room instantly. He moved with the confidence of someone who'd never been told no in his life. His gaze found her immediately. He walked to her table, and Ariella noticed something chilling. Every person he passed instinctively moved out of his way. Not obviously, but subtly, like animals sensing a predator. Ariella. His voice was smooth, accented, dangerous. How did you know it was me? You're the only person in this cafe who looks terrified and excited simultaneously. He sat across from her without asking. I'm Min Jun. What do you want from me? To understand why your message affected me so deeply. It was a drunk text meant for someone else. But it came to me instead. Don't you find that interesting? I find it horrifying. Min Jun smiled, not cruelly, but with genuine amusement. You should. Most people who attract my attention don't fare well. Is that a threat? It's context. He leaned forward. I need you to understand something, Ariella. I'm not a good man. I do terrible things for power and money. I've hurt people who've crossed me. My world is violence and blood. Ariella should have run. Instead, she asked, Then why are you here? Because in 15 years of this life, no one has ever spoken to me the way you did last night. With honesty, vulnerability, like I was just human. You are human. Am I? His eyes held hers. Sometimes I'm not sure anymore. They stared at each other across the table, two people from completely different worlds, connected by a cosmic accident. "I need to know," Ariella said quietly. "What exactly do you do?" "I run an organization. We control imports, exports, certain enterprises the government frowns upon." "You're a criminal." "I'm Korean Mafia," he corrected matter-of-factly. "There's a difference." The words hung in the air like a grenade. Ariella should have stood up, walked away, called the police. "Why tell me the truth?" she asked instead. "Because lying to you feels wrong. You don't even know me. I know enough. You work yourself to exhaustion helping people. You're kind to strangers. You're brave enough to send honest messages to men you barely know. You drink wine alone on Friday nights because you're too tired to go out, but too lonely to enjoy the solitude. You got all that from one text? I got all that from the way you write, the words you choose, the vulnerability you hide behind casual language." Minjun tilted his head. "Am I wrong?" "No," Ariella admitted. "You're not. Have dinner with me. I'm having coffee with you right now. Real dinner. My restaurant. Private room. I want to talk to you without you looking at the exits every 30 seconds. Your restaurant? I own several. This one is secure, discreet, and the food is exceptional." "What makes you think I'd say yes?" Minjun stood, pulled out a business card, and set it on the table. "Just a phone number. Nothing else." "Because you're as curious about me as I am about you, and that terrifies both of us." He buttoned his jacket. 8 p.m. Address will be texted to you. If you don't come, I'll understand. But I hope you do. He walked out, leaving Ariella staring at the card. Destiny rushed over the second he was gone. "Girl, who the hell was that?" "Trouble," Ariella whispered. "You're not actually going to dinner with him." Ariella looked at her best friend. "I think I am." At 7:55 p.m., Ariella stood outside an unmarked restaurant in an upscale part of downtown she rarely visited. The door was solid black. No sign, no windows, just an address. She knocked. A tall Korean man in a suit opened it immediately. "Ms. Cole? How did you—" "Please come in. Mr. Yoon is expecting you." The interior was stunning. Dark wood, dim amber lighting, traditional Korean art on the walls, but completely empty. No other diners. "Where is everyone?" Ariella asked as she was led through the main dining room. Mr. Yoon reserved the entire restaurant for the evening. The entire restaurant. They reached a private room separated by rice paper screens. The guard, because that's clearly what he was, slid the door open. Minjun sat at a low table, looking relaxed in an open-collar black shirt. He stood when she entered. "You came." "Against my better judgment." The hallmark of all good decisions. He gestured to the cushion across from him. "Please." Ariella sat, acutely aware of how intimate this felt. Just the two of them in this private space. "I ordered a tasting menu. Traditional Korean dishes. If you have any allergies—" "I don't." "Good." For a moment, they just looked at each other. "I need to ask," Ariella finally said. "Why me? You could have anyone. Why fixate on a wrong number?" Minjun poured tea for both of them with practiced grace. "You know what it's like to live in a world where everyone wants something from you. I work in a hospital. Patients want healing. Families want miracles. Administration wants productivity. So yes. Then you understand why your message was revolutionary. You weren't asking for anything. You were offering something, yourself, honestly, with no agenda. Do you know how rare that is in my world? Your world sounds lonely. It's suffocating. He met her eyes. People fear me, or they want to use me. No one sees past the title, the reputation, the violence. Is the violence real? Yes, I won't lie to you about that. The first course arrived, delicate soup served in traditional bowls. As they ate, they talked. About everything. Minjun told her about growing up in Busan, Korea, his father's empire. The choice he never really had to follow in those footsteps. Ariella told him about nursing school, the loans she was still paying, the patients who broke her heart. Why nursing? Minjun asked. Because I wanted to help people. Naive, right? Not naive. Idealistic. There's a difference. What's the difference? Idealism is hope with eyes open. Naivety is hope with eyes closed. You know the world is broken, Ariella. You just choose to fight anyway. She'd never heard it put that way. The second course came, perfectly grilled beef, banchan side dishes, rice. Tell me about your world, Ariella said, not the sanitized version, the real one. Minjun was quiet for a long moment. My organization controls territory across 3 states. We handle imports that others can't. Protect businesses, sometimes from themselves. Resolve disputes the legal system won't touch. You mean extortion and violence? Yes, sometimes. He didn't flinch from the truth. But also protection, fair arbitration, jobs for people who'd otherwise have nothing. It's not black and white. Does that help you sleep at night? No, but the loneliness keeps me awake, more than the guilt. Ariella saw the exhaustion in his eyes, the same exhaustion she saw in her mirror every morning. You could leave, she said softly. No, I couldn't. My father built this empire with blood. My sister depends on the security it provides. Hundreds of people rely on the structure I maintain. If I walk away, it collapses into war. So you're trapped. We're all trapped by our choices. You're trapped in a hospital system that underpays and overworks you. I'm trapped in a world that needs a monster. We just wear different cages. The third course arrived. Seafood delicacies Ariella had never tried. As the meal continued, something shifted. The conversation deepened. Barriers fell. Minjun laughed, a real, genuine laugh, at one of her stories about a patient who'd hit on her while getting stitches. Ariella found herself leaning forward, drawn to the intelligence and vulnerability behind his dangerous exterior. Can I ask you something personal? Minjun said during dessert. Sweet rice cakes and fresh fruit. You've been asking personal questions all night. More personal. He hesitated, the first time she'd seen him unsure. When you sent that message last night, what were you really looking for? Ariella thought about lying, decided against it. Connection, real connection. Someone who sees me. Not the scrubs or the exhaustion or the bills I can't quite pay. Just me. Did you find it? I don't know yet. Did you? Yes, Minjun said simply. The moment you responded with honesty instead of fear. They stared at each other across the table, something electric and dangerous crackling between them. Then the door exploded inward. Question: what would you do if killers burst through the door while you're on a first date? Because what happens next will leave you breathless. Everything happened in 3 seconds. 1. 3 men in black burst through the rice paper screens, guns drawn. 2. Minjun's hand shot across the table, grabbed Ariella's wrist, and yanked her sideways as the first shots fired. 3. The low table flipped, and Minjun's body covered hers as the room erupted in gunfire. Ariella's ears rang. Her heart hammered. Minjun's weight pressed her against the floor, solid and protective. She heard shouting in Korean. More gunfire. Glass shattering. Then, silence. Minjun didn't move for several heartbeats. Finally, he lifted his head, looking around carefully. "Stay down," he commanded, voice hard. Ariella's brain couldn't process what was happening. She'd been eating dessert 30 seconds ago. Now she was on the floor, covered in someone else's body, ears ringing from gunshots. Minjun rose slowly, and Ariella saw what she'd been too terrified to notice during the chaos. All three attackers were dead on the floor. The guard who'd escorted her in stood by the door, gun still drawn. Two other men she hadn't seen before appeared from somewhere. Weapons ready. Minjun had blood on his shirt. His hands were steady. "Get her out of here," he told the guard. J1, she'd later learn. "Safe house, now!" "I can't leave you. Victor Song knows she was with me." Minjun's jaw clenched. "That makes her a target. Go, now." J1 holstered his weapon and reached for Ariella. "Ms. Cole, we need to leave." "What? No, I don't understand." "Ariella." Minjun gripped her shoulders, forcing her to focus on him. "Victor Song is a rival. He sent these men to kill me. They failed, but now they know you were here with me. That puts you in danger. I don't even know you. They don't care. Association is enough." His eyes burned with intensity. "I need you to trust me. Let J1 take you somewhere safe while I handle this." "Handle this how?" "The way I handle all threats, with violence." He didn't say it, but she understood. "I want to go home," Ariella said, voice shaking. "Your home isn't safe anymore. Victor will have people watching it by now." The reality hit her like ice water. Her life had just changed completely because of one accidental text message. "This is insane." "I know, and I'm sorry." Minjun's expression softened just slightly. "I never meant to drag you into this, but you're in it now, and I will protect you. I swear it." K1 pulled gently at her arm. "Ms. Cole, please. Every second we delay puts you at greater risk." Ariella let herself be led away in a daze. Through a back exit, into a waiting black SUV with tinted windows. As they drove away, she looked back at the restaurant. Minjun stood in the doorway, watching her leave, blood on his hands and death at his feet. What had she gotten herself into? The safe house was a penthouse apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Jaewon had barely spoken during the 20-minute drive, constantly checking mirrors, taking random turns. Professional paranoia. "You'll be safe here," he said, unlocking the door. "The building has security. This floor requires biometric access. Mr. Yoon will come when he can." "When will that be?" "When he's ensured all threats are neutralized." "You mean when he's killed everyone who knows I exist?" Chaewon's expression didn't change. "Stay away from windows. Don't make calls. Don't post on social media. Someone will bring you clothes and necessities within the hour." Then he left, and Ariella was alone. She sank onto the leather couch, hands shaking, mind racing. 3 men had tried to kill her tonight. Well, tried to kill Minjun. She'd just been collateral damage. Her phone was still in her purse, miraculously intact. She wanted to call Destiny, her mom, someone. But Jaewon's warning echoed. Don't make calls. Ariella stood, paced, tried to make sense of the impossible situation. The apartment was immaculate, modern, expensive, somehow impersonal despite the luxury. She found a bathroom, splashed water on her face, and stared at her reflection. What am I doing? An hour later, the door's biometric lock beeped. Ariella grabbed the nearest thing resembling a weapon, a decorative vase, and held it like a bat. Minjun entered. He'd changed clothes. The blood was gone, but the exhaustion in his eyes remained. "You can put down the vase," he said gently. Ariella lowered it slowly. "Did you kill them?" "Victor Song's men? Yes." "All of them?" "The ones who knew about you." The casual way he admitted to mass murder should have horrified her. Instead, she just felt numb. "I need you to understand something," Minjun continued, moving toward her slowly, like approaching a spooked animal. "What happened tonight was my fault. I was careless. I wanted so badly to spend time with you that I ignored security protocols. So, this is my fault." "No!" His voice was sharp. "This is never your fault. You sent a text message. That's all. Everything that followed, my obsession, my selfishness, my decision to involve you in my world, that's on me. I could have said no to dinner. You should have said no. I'm glad you didn't. But you should have." He ran a hand through his hair, the first nervous gesture she'd seen from him. "Ariella, I need to ask you something, and I need complete honesty." "Okay. Do you want to leave? Right now. I can arrange transportation anywhere in the world. New identity if needed. Money. Safety. You never have to see me again." Ariella stared at him. "You'd do that? Of course. Your safety matters more than whatever this is between us. And if I stay?" Minjun's jaw clenched. "Then you accept that my world is dangerous, that people will try to hurt you to get to me, that I will kill anyone who threatens you, which will only make the danger worse. That's not much of a sales pitch. It's not meant to be. I'm trying to be honest about what choosing me means." Ariella walked to the window, looking out at the glittering city. Somewhere down there, people were living normal lives, going on normal dates, having normal problems. She could have that. All she had to do was walk away from the most dangerous and intoxicating man she'd ever met. "What do you want?" she asked without turning around. "I want you to stay," Minjun admitted quietly. "God help me. I want you to stay so badly it terrifies me. Because in one night, you've made me feel more human than I have in 15 years. Ariella turned to face him. "Tell me the truth, the real truth. What happened tonight? Was it about territory? Money? What?" "Victor Song has wanted my territory for 3 years. Tonight was an opportunity. I was distracted, vulnerable. He took his shot. Because of me. Because of his ambition. You were just the catalyst." Ariella crossed her arms. "If I stay, what happens? I protect you. I restructure my operations to minimize risk. I pull back from the front lines and let others handle the violence." "You'd do that?" "I'd do anything to keep you safe." "You don't even know me." "I know enough." Minjun took a step closer. "I know you're brave, compassionate, honest. I know you see people, really see them, in a way most don't. I know your presence makes me want to be better than the monster I've become." "That's not fair," Ariella whispered. "Putting that responsibility on me. You're right. It's not." He stopped a few feet away, giving her space. "So I'm not asking you to fix me. I'm asking if you're willing to let me try to fix myself. With you nearby, reminding me what it feels like to be human." Ariella felt tears prickling her eyes. This is crazy. Completely insane. I should run. Probably. But I don't want to. Minjun's expression cracked, vulnerability flooding in. Neither do I. They stood there, two broken people drawn together by cosmic accident, staring at each other across an impossible gap. If I stay, Ariella said slowly, we do this right. No more secrets, no more surprises. You tell me everything. Everything, Minjun agreed. And the first time you lie to me, I walk, no matter what. Deal. Ariella took a shaky breath. Okay, I'll stay. For now, we'll see where this goes. Minjun's relief was visible. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. You might regret this. Impossible. But what neither of them knew was that Victor Song had survived the attack. And he was planning something much worse. Over the next 2 weeks, Ariella's life became surreal. She called in sick at the hospital, something about a family emergency. Destiny was frantic until Ariella finally broke protocol and called to say she was safe, but couldn't explain yet. Minjun kept his promise. Every morning over breakfast, he'd tell her about his operations, what he did, who he dealt with, the moral compromises he made. Never sugarcoating, never justifying, just honesty. Ariella learned that Minjun's organization wasn't the cartoonish villainy of movies. It was complicated, gray. Sometimes they protected vulnerable businesses from extortion by worse criminals. Sometimes they smuggled goods that hurt no one. Sometimes they did terrible things. He never asked her to approve, just to understand. In return, Ariella told him about her life, the student loans crushing her, the patience she'd lost, the exhaustion of caring so much in a system designed to burn you out. They spent nights talking on the penthouse balcony, Minjun teaching her about Korean culture, Ariella teaching him about soul food. They laughed. They argued. They slowly, carefully, began to trust each other. But the shadow of Victor Song hung over everything. He's planning something, Chaewon warned during one of his daily security briefings. Our sources say he's been quiet since the restaurant. Too quiet. Meaning? Minjun asked. Meaning he's coordinating something big. Ariella watched the tension in Minjun's shoulders increase with each passing day. On day 16, everything exploded. Minjun was in a meeting with his lieutenants when his phone rang. A number he didn't recognize. He answered. Yes, Mr. Yoon. The voice was cultured, mocking. Victor Song. I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. Minjun's blood went cold. How did you get this number? I have resources, but I'm not calling to chat about logistics. I'm calling to make you an offer. I'm not interested. Oh, I think you will be. You see, I know about Ariella Cole, 29 years old, nurse at Metro General, best friend named Destiny, mother in Cleveland. A good woman, Mr. Yoon. Too good for someone like you. Every muscle in Minjun's body went rigid. If you touch her, I won't. Not if you cooperate. I want your territory. All of it. The ports, the distribution networks, the protection contracts. Sign them over to me, and Ms. Cole lives a long, happy life. And if I refuse, then I'll kill everyone she's ever loved. Slowly, starting with her mother. Victor paused. You have 48 hours to decide. I'll be in touch. The line went dead. When Minjun told Ariella about the call, he expected panic. Instead, she got angry. So that's it? He threatens me? And you just fold? Ariella, he'll kill your mother, your friends, everyone. And you think I can live with that? Knowing people died because of me? Better them than you. That's not your choice to make. Ariella stood, fury radiating from her. You don't get to sacrifice other people's lives to protect mine without asking. I'm trying to keep you safe. By giving up everything you've built? By letting a monster like Victor Song take over? What happens to all the people who depend on your organization? What happens when someone worse than you runs things? Minjun stared at her. You think I'm bad. I think you're better than Victor Song. And if you hand him power because you're afraid, you're condemning hundreds of people to something worse. So what do you suggest? I let him kill you to save my reputation? I suggest we fight. Ariella? No. Listen to me. She grabbed his hands, forcing him to focus. You said you wanted to be better, that I reminded you of your humanity. Well, here's your chance. Don't let him terrorize us. Don't give him power over our lives. Fight back. If we fight, people die. People are dying anyway. At least this way, we choose who we become in the process. Minjun had never met anyone like her. Anyone with this much courage. This much fire. You're asking me to start a war. I'm asking you to stand up. There's a difference. He pulled her close, resting his forehead against hers. If anything happens to you, it won't. Because we're going to be smart, strategic, and we're going to end Victor Song's threat permanently. How? Ariella smiled, fierce and determined. We use his ego against him. He thinks I'm your weakness. Let's make him believe it. The plan was insane. Ariella would be the bait. Visible, vulnerable, going about her normal life while Victor's people watched. Absolutely not, Jaewon had said when Minjun presented the idea. It's the only way, Minjun countered. Victor won't move while he thinks I'm hiding her. But if she's exposed, he'll make his play. We'll be ready. And if you're not? If we miss someone? We won't. They spent 3 days preparing. Extra security disguised as normal people, tracking devices sewn into Ariella's clothes, escape routes planned down to the second. Minjun barely slept, running scenarios, imagining every possible way this could go wrong. On the 4th day, Ariella returned to her apartment. Destiny nearly tackled her. Where have you been? I've been worried sick. I know. I'm sorry. I'll explain everything, but right now, I need you to trust me. Trust you? Girl, you disappeared for 3 weeks. Ariella told her an edited version, left out the mafia parts, emphasized the complicated relationship angle. Destiny wasn't buying it. This is about that man from the cafe, isn't it? It's complicated. Complicated is his favorite restaurant. This is something else. Something dangerous. I know what I'm doing. Do you? Because you look terrified. Ariella was terrified, but also determined. Victor's men found her within hours, 2 cars following at a distance. A woman in a coffee shop staring too long. A man on the corner who appeared in 3 different locations throughout the day. Minjun tracked it all from a surveillance van 2 blocks away, Jaewon coordinating the response. They're setting up for a grab, Jaewon reported. Probably tonight or tomorrow morning. Where? Most likely her apartment, or on her way to work. Then we'll be ready. That night, Ariella went home as planned. She showered, ate dinner, pretended everything was normal. At 11:47 p.m., Exactly 3 weeks after the initial text, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Come downstairs, alone. If you alert anyone, your mother dies. Ariella's heart hammered. This was it. She pressed the panic button hidden in her watch, a signal to Min-jun. Then she grabbed her jacket and headed downstairs. A black van waited at the curb. The side door slid open. Victor Song sat inside, smiling. "Miss Cole, finally we meet properly." Ariella's mouth went dry, but she forced herself to project calm. "What do you want?" "Just you, as bait to draw out your lover. He's made quite a mess of my operations. Time to end this. He won't come for me. We barely know each other. Please. The great Min-jun has been obsessed with you for weeks. He'll come." Victor gestured with his gun. "Get in." Ariella hesitated, buying time for Min-jun's team to get in position. "Now!" She climbed into the van. The door slammed shut. 2 of Victor's men flanked her, guns drawn. The van pulled away from the curb. "Where are we going?" Ariella asked. "Somewhere your knight in shining armor will have to expose himself to reach you." Victor smiled. "Don't worry. If he cooperates, I'll kill you quickly." The van drove for 15 minutes. Heading toward the warehouse district, Ariella's watch was tracking. Min-jun would follow. The trap was working. But something felt wrong. Victor was too confident, too relaxed. "You know he'll kill you," Ariella said. "Min-jun doesn't negotiate." "Neither do I. That's why I've planned for every contingency." Victor leaned forward. "You really think I don't know about the tracker in your clothes? The security team following us? I've been in this business 20 years, Ms. Cole. I know when I'm being baited." Ariella's blood ran cold. "So here's what's going to happen," Victor continued. "My men will intercept Min-jun's team. There will be a glorious battle. Many people will die. And while everyone's distracted, I'll put a bullet in your head and leave your body where he'll find it. Psychological warfare. Break him completely before I finish him off." The van stopped at a warehouse. Ariella was pulled out roughly, Victor's gun pressed to her spine. "Move!" They entered the dark building, empty, echoing. Then lights flared. Men appeared from shadows, dozens of them, all armed. And in the center, Min-jun, hands raised, Jae-won beside him. "Let her go," Min-jun said, voice deadly calm. "No, I don't think I will." Victor pressed the gun harder against Ariella's back. "Drop your weapons, all of you, or I pull this trigger." Min-jun's team slowly lowered their guns. "Good. Now." Ariella moved. Years of self-defense training from a hospital in a bad neighborhood kicked in. She dropped her weight, twisted, drove her elbow into Victor's throat. The gun went off, bullets smashing into concrete. Then chaos erupted. Min-jun was moving before the echo faded. Jae-won had a weapon out. Victor's men were firing. Ariella dove for cover behind steel drums. Gunfire exploded around her. She saw Min-jun fighting, brutal, efficient, terrifying. Every movement precise, every shot lethal. Jae-won covered the left flank. Other team members engaged from multiple positions. Victor was scrambling for his gun, wheezing from Ariella's strike to his throat. Min-jun reached him first. No words, no bravado. Just cold justice. One shot. Victor's song dropped. The silence after violence is always strange. Ariella's ears rang. Smoke hung in the air. Bodies littered the warehouse floor. All Victor's men. Min-jun's team had won. Barely. Jae-won was calling someone. Cleanup crew, probably. Other men were securing the perimeter. Min-jun walked to Ariella, checking her for injuries. "Are you hurt?" "No." Terrified, but not hurt. He pulled her into his arms, holding tight. She felt him shaking. "Don't ever do that again," he whispered. "Which part?" "Any of it. All of it. You could have died, but I didn't. We won." "At what cost?" Min-jun pulled back, eyes haunted. "This is my world, Ariella. This is what staying with me means. Violence, death, fear. I know." "Do you, really?" Ariella cupped his face. "I watched you kill a man tonight. I should be horrified, traumatized, but all I feel is relief that we survived, that you're okay, that we can still have a future." "What kind of future can we possibly have?" "Whatever kind we want." 6 months later. Min-jun kept his word. He restructured his organization, promoted Jae-won to handle day-to-day operations, and stepped back from the violence. It wasn't clean. There were challenges, rivals who thought he'd gone soft, internal disputes about leadership. But Jae-won was more than capable, and the organization adapted. Min-jun opened a legitimate security consulting firm. Turned out, years of criminal strategy translated well to corporate security. Ariella returned to nursing part-time and started teaching self-defense classes on the side, something she'd discovered a passion for during her ordeal. They got an apartment together, nothing fancy, just normal. Destiny eventually met Min-jun properly and grudgingly admitted he wasn't as terrible as she'd feared. "Still don't trust him completely," she told Ariella, "but he makes you happy. That counts for something." Ariella's mother took more convincing, but when Min-jun flew her out to visit and spent 3 days being charming and respectful, even she softened. "He's dangerous," she'd warned Ariella privately. "I know. But he loves you. I can see that." "I love him too." On a Friday night, exactly 6 months after the warehouse battle, they stood on the balcony of their apartment overlooking the city lights. "Do you ever regret it?" Min-jun asked softly. "The text, meeting me, everything that followed?" Ariella leaned against him, feeling his warmth, his steady heartbeat. "Not even for a second. I ruined your life. You saved it. I was drowning in routine and loneliness. You gave me purpose, adventure, love. I gave you nightmares and trauma. You gave me a reason to fight." She turned to face him. "Do you regret it?" Min-jun smiled, the soft, genuine smile he only gave her. Responding to that text was the best decision I've ever made. Even with all the chaos? Especially with the chaos. You showed me I could be more than the monster I'd become. You were never a monster. I was, but you saw the human underneath. That made all the difference. They kissed, soft, deep, full of promise and hard-won peace. Somewhere in the city, people were sending texts, making connections, finding love in unexpected places, but none quite as unexpected as theirs. A wrong number, a lonely mafia boss, a brave nurse, and a love story that terrified everyone, but transformed 2 broken people into something whole. So that's how one drunk text message changed 2 lives forever. Ariella Cole thought she was texting a gym crush. Instead, she found the most dangerous and devoted love of her life. Min-jun Yoon thought he was beyond redemption, but one woman's honest vulnerability showed him he could choose to be better. Their story proves that sometimes the biggest mistakes lead to the greatest transformations. That love can bloom in the darkest places. That 2 people from completely different worlds can build something beautiful together, if they're brave enough to try. What would you have done in Ariella's position? Would you have blocked the number immediately? Gone to that first meeting? Let me know in the comments. And if you loved this story of accidental love, mafia danger, and redemption against all odds, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I have more incredible stories coming your way. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best things in life happen when you text the wrong number.